Okay, hello and welcome to the Untitled Anarchist Seagull Channel's Saturday night stream, where we always strive to provide helpful extremist content. I'm just gonna get those links shared now. Okay, so we got that going. And let's see. Get a little background music. Sorry. Okay. We'll just start out with a little bit of chess. I actually got to play over-the-board chess for the first time in a couple of years. My niece, who is now learning the game, came over, and so we actually got to play a little bit. It's amazing. She only just started learning. I got her a chess set for her birthday, and she's only been learning the game for like a month, but she is picking it up really quickly. I wouldn't be surprised. She apparently plays with her dad every night. So far, he's always winning, but I have a feeling fairly soon she might actually be kicking his ass. Speaking of kicking asses, I think I just fucked up pretty badly there. How the hell did I not notice that? I love it. Facebook has now decided to start warning people about, hello, Philomenist. Where are you joining us from? Ah, ¿de Argentina? ¿De qué parte? Chucha, he hecho tanto de menos a Buenos Aires. Esta pandemia culiada no he podido pasar ni un día allá en los últimos años. Ah, de Chaco. Chaco no lo conozco, solo conozco, bueno, Buenos Aires, sobre todo el Palermo, el microcentro, y Mendoza, donde todo el mundo habla como si uno estuviera en Chile. Soy de Estados Unidos, actualmente en Cincinnati, la ciudad fome en el medio oeste del país que nadie conoce. Normalmente estaría o en Gales o en Alemania o tal vez en Santiago, pero bueno, en estos momentos las posibilidades de viaje son un poco limitadas. A ver. Con estos peones doblados. Ah, bueno. Vamos a abrir la fila F. Ah, bueno. También conozco un poquitito de Uspallata. Pasé por allá de escala hace unos años. Parecía bonito. A ver. No, nací en Wisconsin. O sea, como en el norte central de Estados Unidos. Pero me crié trilingüe y por lo tanto, bueno, con el castellano, el alemán y el inglés, y por lo tanto son como iguales para mí. Y bueno, bueno, la variación del castellano, eh, que bueno, que me es más familiar, por así decirlo, bueno, el chileno, aunque también hay como un poquitito de weas como centroamericanas allá adentro, porque acá, bueno, la variante como dominante es bueno, la variante centroamericana, pero bueno, sobre todo chilense. 내 삶을 빛내준 그대 bueno, si quería trocarlo a Chile de Campo Oscuro, entonces que troquero, ¿no? ¿Por qué está aguantando tanto con H3, weón? ¿Y Chaco en qué parte de Argentina queda? No me ubico tanto. Ah, a ver, vamos a cagarle un poco la estructura peonal. Ah, bueno. Gracias por venir entonces. Buenas noches. Y para que conste, estoy aquí todos los sábados, todos los viernes, de como las 23:30 hasta la 1 de la madrugada, hora del este estadounidense. Así que espero que nos veamos por allá. It's always cool when people show up who I haven't personally invited to the channel. That doesn't happen very often, and at least not yet. Maybe the more regular I get and the more I post like clipped content. Okay, it's really getting confusing watching the OBS window here. Because my lips are sort of out of sync with what I'm saying, and it's really kind of freaking me out, so I'm gonna not do that. But yeah, I mean, it's so rare that I actually get somebody on here so far who... Oh shit. Oh, please don't notice that. Please don't notice that. So rare that I get somebody on here who I didn't personally send the link to at some point, so it's always nice when that happens. And for anyone just joining, this is a multilingual channel. There's a reasonable chance that I speak whatever language you're most comfortable with. Oh, noticed. Well, had to happen, I guess. Upper Rock. Bloody hell. So, chances are I could just switch over to your language, and I'm happy to try. that's a suck position. That's a suck thing. We're not doing that. In fact, I've gone off this entire idea of trading dark square bishops at this point. I think I need to start preserving material. I also don't really see a great place for my dark squared bishop just yet. Yeah. So, God, I miss Argentina. I'm just going anywhere, really. Get the idea that the ruling class kinda doesn't mind if this fucking pandemic goes on forever from the complete indifference they have to public health measures. I mean, the curve is extremely steep at this point in Britain because of the Delta variant, which is dominant there, and Boris Johnson's idea is to just sort of open everything up while that's going on. I mean, these fucking people. That is not helpful extremist content, what they're putting out. Uh-huh. No, I do not have any interest in trading queens. I do have some interest in maybe taking on f7 if that opportunity is going to be offered to me. And I notice there's still back rank possibilities here. Oh well. Okay, let me see here. What happens if I go... Okay, what am I doing? Yeah, I see back rank possibilities for me as well. Moppin's brought out a absolute bizarre fucking book. Let me see. I think... we might have a little bit of a look at that at some point today. because from what I've heard, it's just a true bonanza of shit that makes no sense. Among other things, you see, it turns out, according to Caleb Maupin, Thought Slime is a scat channel. Like, all scat and self-harm all the time. I didn't know that. I've been watching Thought Slime for nearly as long as Thought Slime has been making videos, and I did not know that it was a scat and self-harm channel. I thought it was just, anarchist communism and stuff, helpful extremist content, but these are the things that you only know if you... Oh, thank you, hanging a piece like that. Yeah, these are the things you only find out if you pay attention to the top Nazbols, like Caleb Maupin. Let's see what we get on here when we look at this latest piece of great revolutionary literature from the guy who thinks billionaires should exist. Now, he self-published this, which, not in itself gonna knock that, because my novel's most likely going to be self-published. He gives special thanks to Peter Coffin twice. Okay, what page is the BreadTube shit on here? Oh, he's calling BreadTube a counter gang. Okay, now, a lot of people might not realize what the hell a counter gang is. This is an actual term. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it comes from a well-known and heavily decorated shitbag by the name of Frank Kitson, who, amongst other things, was responsible for setting up so-called counter-gangs in the north of Ireland in order to terrorize the Irish Catholic or nationalist population into submission. So he's literally saying this, okay, that BreadTube is a counter-gang. Okay. See, the bizarre thing about when he's talking about communists and social democrats is the minute you look at his proposals, it's just piss-weak social democratic stuff. While social democracy in the 1920s and even today generally represents a watered-down pro-imperialist interpretation of Marxism, what BreadTubers believe in is fundamentally antithetical to Marxism. Marxism seeks to advance historical progress and create a society of vast abundance in which all inequality and the need for a state itself can fade away. Is this showing up? BreadTubers tend to favor an escalation of street violence against the right wing at the time when these forces are much better armed and have a much better organized base among the population. Citation fucking needed. I mean, the most remarkable thing about the resurgence of street fascism starting a little bit before 2016 is just how pathetic it's been. Now, they've got deep pockets, that much is clear. They've needed deep pockets because they literally have been flying people from one end of the country to the other to make up the numbers at these rallies of theirs, because they literally can't get enough local support. They're in the single double digits at best. They're always massively outnumbered. If the eventual escalation that BreadTubers seem committed to inciting were to occur, okay, inciting? The escalation has already happened. To the extent that BreadTubers, and I don't actually think this is an accurate description, yes, BreadTubers, at least some of them, have spoken in favor of community self-defense against fascist paramilitaries, and yes, we need to be doing that. But the escalation has come from them. They're the ones who've been fucking shooting people. Furthermore, BreadTube often seems to almost incite lawless violence and hooliganism against Marxist-Leninists, 20th century socialists, and anti-imperialists at the same time that they call for mob violence against the right wing. Yes, again, citation needed. First of all, let's define what the hell a 21st century socialist is. I mean, clearly it isn't just a socialist in the 21st century. He's occasionally called himself a 21st century socialist, and what that means to him when you get down to his actual proposals is just piss weak Democratic Party shit, like wealth tax. Labeling anti-war and anti-imperialist voices as red, browns, and Nazguls. No. No, Caleb. The people who are being referred to as red, browns, and Nazguls are people who claim to be on the left but are happy to work together with fascists. And the people called Nazguls are literally fucking Nazguls, like yourself, Caleb. BreadTube's opposition to historical... Where the fuck are the quotes on this? Opposition to historical progress and growth. He's, like, literally claiming that, BreadTube somehow is akin to the fascist Julius Evola. Oh, and carries with it the genocidal legacy of eugenics and Malthusianism. You see, he can't actually end a sentence without bringing up Malthusianism. Whether or not the BreadTube ideology, which does not exist except in his mind, I mean, you have to look at the people that he has included in the definition of BreadTube, which includes everything from liberals like ContraPoints to explicit anarcho-communists like Thought Slime, and then like absolute, just outright right-wingers like Destiny, who have a general relationship of mutual contempt with anyone who would normally be considered BreadTube. He's just sort of put these people together in an absolute... just a bizarre mishmash. The ties of BreadTube to the Antifa Street Fighters are most likely extensive, but cannot be confirmed. First of all, what would be wrong with that? What's wrong with people defending their communities and being supported by that, by alternative, independent, revolutionary media? Second of all, most likely extensive but cannot be confirmed. So what, you wrote an entire book and you didn't bother to check it out, or you tried to check it out, you couldn't find it? the primitivist worker co-op non-authoritarian society breadtubers advocate is not really achievable or desirable, and it's also not advocated by breadtubers. Like, he's like put this in the mouth of Thought Slime, who's never said anything of the sort, certainly not a prim, certainly has not called for worker co-ops in capitalism. Meanwhile, fucking Caleb Maupin, his entire proposal is just liberal bullshit. I mean, a wealth tax on billionaires. I mean, and this is just so... Who, what, and who is BreadTube? Okay. Socialism done left, who nobody's fucking heard of. Matt Thought Slime. He makes a point of pointing out that Thought Slime is non-bit. Mildred, I'm not going to dead name him Thought Slime. Thought Slime has decided to adopt, at least for now, apparently, the name Mildred, so I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to just include that in the quotes. Mildred is essentially a cyberbully who wraps their comedy in pseudo-leftist ideology and 90s goth-style edgelordism. Wow, that's a wonderful collection of buzzwords there. After a failed comedy career, Mildred turned to making movie reviews for YouTube and somehow seems to have stumbled into politics. Actually, it's kind of the other way around. The anarcho-communist channel Thought Slime came first, and Scaredy Cats, the movie review channel for horror movies, came later. I mean, this is just such bullshit. Okay, then some bullshit about may or may not actually be even true about Thought Slime's alleged mother. Let's see. Mildred routinely takes the statements that people make out of context, distorts opponents' positions, and makes statements that they most likely realize to be false. Is this projection, Caleb? Because I seem to remember you, accusing random people of being Malthusians based on the fact that they acknowledge that there's overproduction in capitalism? Oh, yeah, here's Caleb Maupin accusing somebody of inadequate research in a book where they have absolutely no fucking quotes. Like, this is just bizarre. Now, Stephen Destiny Bonnell, who is not, while they are not technically breadtubers by definition, well, then why the hell are they part of the sphere from which this crop of bizarre pseudo-leftist influencers? You're the one who's trying to create some sort of Kim Il-sung origin story around yourself, Caleb. Your shit's much more bizarre. Yeah, I mean, he's literally nothing to do with BreadTube except that he hates everything to do with it. This is just so... I mean, I can see why he self-published this, because anyone who would even elementary fact-check this, just basic fact-checking, he's clearly not actually... Either he's never watched anything by Thought Slime, though we know he's watched at least, like, one thing, because there was the time he got really, really pissed off that Thought Slime criticized the bullshit that a turf that Caleb Maupin had... platformed was putting out there. So there was a little bit of that there. but not a whole lot, and he just sort of lied about the video. Like, oh yeah, okay, he mentions Kitson, who I was talking about earlier, so that doesn't surprise me. That's where he's getting counter gangs from. And then so he's like coming up with all this completely irrelevant history in order to declare without evidence that a fictional version of BreadTube that he's just sort of put together as if it's an organization and then lied about is working with the CIA or even supports imperialism. Oh, he puts anarcho-communism in inverted commas. Here he is lecturing people on Marxism, which he just opposes. I mean, it's just... it's hard not to notice that he will basically study... Oh, wait, let me see. Oh, here he is. Okay, once again trying to connect thought slime to fucking Malthusianism, which there's literally no evidence. He somehow connects, okay, to Margaret Sanger, because of course, again, Malthusianism. And Aleister Crowley? Where the fuck is he? He's just connected a bunch of random bullshit, some of which apparently comes from the fascist think tanks around the LaRoucheite movement. I mean, let me see. No, this is a fundraising pitch. My vision for the Center for Political Innovation. God, I mean, is there any bigger grifter tell than somebody trying to build a career on having been important in Occupy and then setting up a fucking think tank? Rest on his laurels. He's made it. The only reason anyone believes he has anything worthwhile to say is his extremely frayed laurels. No, he's platform Nazis. Here he is admitting with that. I have been informed that not supporting U.S. military intervention in Libya and later Syria is proof that I am a fascist. Except that, no, that's literally not what anyone's saying is proof that you're a fascist, Caleb. The fact that you constantly seem to be showing up hanging out with fascists and sucking up to fascists and trying to divert, Marxist discussions into fascist propaganda about Jewish conspiracies and international bankers. That's why people call you a fascist. That's what makes you a fascist. I've literally never heard anyone call him a white nationalist, though he has certainly shown himself entirely willing to share platforms with them. Oh, he was unwelcome in leftist spaces. Well, that's the thing, you're not a leftist, Caleb. And anyone who actually is familiar with you knows that, so of course you're going to be unwelcome. Okay, so this book, I mean, I'm glad there was a way to have a look at this and talk about it without actually spending money on it, because I'm not interested in funding Caleb Maupin's latest fucking grift. And if you want to do the same, it turns out that the book is on Zed Library. You just Google Zed Library, it's just one word. You can find it there in PDF format, and then you don't have to waste your time and waste money on this just amazing pile of bullshit. Which, I mean, either he just doesn't know what he's talking about, which in many cases he very clearly doesn't, or he's lying, which in many cases he very clearly is. But, I mean, it's just such a pile of hot shit. I wouldn't pay for that, and I wouldn't recommend anyone else do so. I think he's got too much money as it is. Okay, somebody's playing the English against me. That never happens. Okay, we're playing the ultra-symmetric variation. Gonna be a real pain in the ass. See, I play the English against other people. They don't play the English against me. That's not how the world is supposed to work. See, the nice thing about the ultra-symmetrical variation is that it's annoying as hell, and eventually you just want to find some way to break the symmetry, and the whole thing depends on who breaks the symmetry and how. I've just been reading up on this variant. Okay. I'm sure as hell not gonna imitate that. I think it's time we broke symmetry. Okay, so we've got a totally scuffed kingside versus mine. Actually, fairly nice kingside. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, D3, gonna get my little botanic on. Oh, actually, that's exactly what he was doing. Okay, get on D4. Ah, GG, that didn't go quite as I was hoping. Have to save that game. save games where people win with the English, since I play the English. Okay, let me play another, as we're winding down tonight. Okay. H3 got that knight up, or maybe open my F file, depending on what Black's plan is. I think it's good in this case to have my F file open. Very happy for it to happen. You know, what if what Caleb Maupin's saying is true and Foxlime's had a top secret scat channel all this time and has been holding out on us? You know, they say that different quantum universes exist, and if something is possible, there's a universe in which it happens, so maybe there's a universe in which all the shit that Caleb Maupin spews is also true. That would be fucked up. Much more fucked up than the alternative. But we do get into the realm of science fiction the minute we start trying to entertain the idea that, the possibility that anything Caleb Maupin says is actually true. Hey. Free knight? No. Actually, free cutlery, too. Okay, you can either give up your rook or your queen there. And there we go. GG. Ja, also als kleiner Nachtrag zu meinem Deep Dive zum Thema Rias Bericht und Antisemitismus wollte ich mal eine Zahl nachliefern. Denn irgendwie kam ich einfach nicht drauf, wie mit dieser Dunkelziffer, mit diesen Vorfällen unbekannter Hintergrund eigentlich zu erfahren ist. Und dann, warum das so lange gedauert hat, bis das dämmerte, weiß ich nicht. Aber jedenfalls ist es so, dass die natürlich vollzählig in die bereinigte Gesamtmasse, also antisemitische Vorfälle ohne sogenannte Israel-bezogene Vorfälle, übergehen. Und deswegen wollte ich einfach mal hinzufügen, so als Nachtrag, dass es sich dabei um 1003 Fälle mit unbekanntem Hintergrund bzw. unermitteltem Hintergrund, wie sehr sie sich da angestrengt haben, weiß ich nicht. Ein besonderer Aufwand in der Hinsicht legt jedenfalls der Bericht nicht an den Tag. Und also das wären dann 65,5% unbekannter Hintergrund und rechts war dann 41,18. Und okay, das stimmt, das macht jetzt überhaupt keinen Sinn. Irgendwas muss da falsch sein, denn das wäre mehr als 100%. Das sind, okay, rechts insgesamt sind sind 631 Fälle. Ja, okay, okay, also irgendwas kann daran nicht stimmen und genau deshalb ist es ja auch wichtig, immer auch die Fallzahlen anzugeben, denn ich musste die Fallzahlen in den meisten Fällen rechnerisch ermitteln und da werden Prozentpunkte abgerundet und so weiter und oft kommt es auf 100,993464 Vorfälle und also wie ein Bruchteil von einem Vorfall aussieht, weiß ich eigentlich auch nicht. Aber wenn es 1003 warte mal, vielleicht G. Ja, es gibt 1003 Fälle mit unbekanntem Hintergrund. (1532 Fälle insgesamt ohne Israel-Bezug und rechte Fälle insgesamt 631. So sind das okay, das ergibt jetzt auch keinen Sinn, denn insgesamt ohne die Israel-bezogenen Fälle müsste man 1532 haben. Wenn wir 631 und 1003 addieren, kommen wir auf mehr als 100 zusätzliche Fälle. Also mehr als 100%. Jetzt gibt das wirklich keinen Sinn. Und deswegen, ja, also so eine Sauerei ist eigentlich doch möglich, wenn man das Ausrechnen der eigentlichen Fallzahlen der Leserschaft, der aufmerksamen Leserschaft überlässt, dass man statt einfach reinen Wein einzuschenken und die ganzen Zahlen konsequent im ganzen statistischen Überblick zu liefern. Also, ja. Da habe ich vielleicht den Eindruck, dass die vielleicht so mit dem Feld also da müssen in dieser Masse mit unbekanntem Hintergrund auch noch Fälle umfasst sein, die auch woanders irgendwie erfasst sind, unter den rechten Vorfällen, israelbezogenen Vorfällen, was weiß ich. Irgendwie scheint man da, also das würde schon einen Sinn ergeben. Und das wäre gut, denn es gibt ja wenig an diesem RIAS-Bericht und an der RIAS selbst, dass es wirklich einen Sinn ergibt. Okay, and with that, I think we're going to... Celine Dion, well... Okay, we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. Thanks everybody who's been watching and everybody who will be watching this in the future when I chop it up and recycle it as YouTube videos. And thanks to the people I played against. If you've enjoyed this content, please do consider liking and subscribing. And there's a Patreon where you can support this channel if you'd like to do so. I will see you again on Friday at about 11:30 EDT.